Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on True Green 7. Today we're continuing on in this series of making pretty evolutions for legendary Pokemon. Welcome to the 4th episode, let's hop in.
Hey guys, Ron here, and a few months ago I released another video in which I made pre-evolved forms of legendary Pokemon. So how about we get closer to the end of this limited series with another episode full of adorable prevos to godlike creatures. Keep in mind that most Pokemon don't only grow up when they evolve, their concept evolves too. So I'll try to not make them literally just miniature versions of their evolved forms, but some definitely will be. It's kind of unavoidable. Make sure to check out my
That's gonna happen. Sometimes the concept is just already basic, so you can make it more basic.
previous Pokemon creation videos and consider leaving a like and subscribing if this is your cup of tea. Remember that I now stream the creation of these Fakemon videos on YouTube every Monday, so I gotta thank chat for helping me with these designs. Check out the previous 3 legendary Prevo videos when you're done with this video too. So I wanted to pick a popular Pokemon to start out our video, so why not Entei? We all know Entei was revived in this current state after dying in the Burnt Tower.
Classic.
So technically Entei, according to lore, didn't have a pre-evolved form, unless we're talking about the Pokemon that Ho-Oh resurrected into Entei. But that's not what we're doing today. I'll save that concept for another video. But I want to make a child of Entei. What if the legendary beasts could breed, and we got a humble prince who could inherit Entei's duties later in life, once it evolves? Entei basically means Fire Emperor in Japanese, after all. Now, some of you would want me to make a little puppy, but it's pretty much confirmed by now by the legendary beast designer himself, Muneo Saito. Though while he made them to look like vague creatures, he took inspiration from big cats, and to make Entei look regal, a lion's mane was incorporated. So we're gonna make a lion cub Entei. We'll begin by defining the proportions of a lion cub.
So that means that the legendary beasts are the legendary cats. That weirdly just made them cute.
Pokemon. Something a bit bigger than a Litleo, since this is still legendary. We don't want the size difference between stages to be too big. I don't want to literally make a tiny Entei too, so I'm not gonna give it all of Entei's ornaments. In fact, the only one that stays is the Fire Crown. It's a relatively serious Pokemon for an unevolved form. It has explosive fur, unrefined like a newborn cub, a tiny version of Entei's side mane, and something that is super underrated is how big lion cub paws are. They're not small and dainty like a house cat. I want him to grow into those paws as it evolves, so it purposely looks like he has big paws to fill. He's an awkward dude, since he's learning how to be regal, refining the sketch before adding the smoke tail instead of Entei's smoky cape. The colors are just lighter versions of what Entei's got, honestly. Here is Enoji, the dormant
that
Pokemon,
is adorable.
from En meaning fire and Oji meaning prince in Japanese. Also, it kind of sounds like energy. A fire type. Enoji are born when Entei settled down in one peaceful place. As Entei begins to keep its powers in check, it understands that it is time to pass down.
Wait, would this technically make that the legendary beasts are asexual as well? They can just lay an egg when they decide to settle down? They're Pokemon, they're monsters. Like, anyone's gonna question how any of this happens.
Its knowledge. Enoji are born during times of utmost peace, when man does not chase after Entei. Enoji's cry instantly causes the temperature around it to rise. It is able to scale icy mountains alone and bathe in lava. Enoji take their responsibility seriously and will focus on learning whatever task is expected of them. The more they learn, the larger their fire becomes. The pressure of containing this fire is overwhelming for Enoji. They evolve when exposed to a firestone. They have the abilities Pressure and Flash Fire, and I think he's very cute. Definitely understandable. A simple little guy. But that's what makes Entei even more precious. The chance to evolve this dude into something epic.
Oop. Nope. Hold it. And we're back. Let's go.
Next is an unpopular Pokemon I personally love, Calyrex. My hope is to make a Prevo that would help you empathize with Calyrex a bit more. He's a cool guy, a benevolent king, so why not design what Calyrex looks like as a prince? Considering his gargantuan noggin is what turned people off to Calyrex, our Prevo will have a much smaller crown. This time, a relatively tiny bud, which will make it look way cuter, along with the fact that it'll look more like a little bunny rabbit, a polite heir to the throne. The face is basically a cute little bunny, just a baby version of Calyrex's more...
Oh, that's a double entendre. Hail to the throne, hail to the throne. Get it? Hail means rabbit. Oh, it means a type of rabbit.
British face, button nose and diamond eyes, little baby belly, and rabbit legs. Not as long as Calyrax's since those freak people out. This prince jumps high but doesn't really float all too much. Patterns that look like aristocratic clothing, and some buds coming out of its neck. Originally I was going to give it a rabbit tail, but opted for these leaf-like coattails. Makes it look fancier. Instead of a big bulb on its head, it has a sprouting bud, held together by little prongs that will become Calyrax's long ears. It's basically the same color as Calyrax, but a bit cooler to match the wintry environment it lives in. Behold, Princeprout, the Prince
Simple
Pokemon,
and done.
a psychic grass type. This regal Pokemon has an abundance of confidence and optimism. It enjoys breathing life into gardens and fields. It takes leisurely walks through farmlands to greet its subjects. The plant life in its wake is always more fertile, but the praise it receives does not go to its head, as Princeprout is aware that its actions are what people worship it for. It loves to ride up and down the hills on the back of Pokemon. Don't let its calm demeanor fool you. It is quite skilled in combat and will show no mercy on the battlefield. It
Oh, I
gives flowers
bet.
to those it defeats as a sign of respect. Princeprout evolves when holding the reins of unity, sealing its fate and imbuing it with regal responsibility. It has the ability Serene Grace, and its shiny is Royal Purple. This is my
Ooh.
favorite so far. I wish I could put him in the thumbnail, but people don't care about Calyrex. I hope you like this line a bit more now
Unfortunately.
that Princeprout exists. I don't know how anybody could dislike this dapper fellow. Now it's time to come clean. I kind of
I
like...
mean, I had the DLC, but I honestly haven't really played into it, so I haven't even really encountered Calyrax. Whoops.
to you. So please forgive me, because not all the Pokemon we're going to make today are pre-evolved forms. I already made a Xerneas and Yveltal Prevo, so I wanted to complete the trio and make one for Zygarde. But my dude already has 4 other forms. Zygarde's cells already kind of look like a pre-evolved form, so how about we simply make
Yeah.
another form? A 5% form. Now all the Pokemon in the Kalos legendary trio and their forms are based on Norse myths, especially all of Zygarde's forms. Naturally, I want to use a kind of
Okay, no, that could actually be something interesting. A 5% form, considering that you got 10, 50, and 100. Okay.
animal that wasn't used in this group, like a bug or amphibian, since they're smaller than dogs yet bigger than a cell. But there aren't many small animals in Norse mythology. There's a squirrel, but he's a mischievous dude, honestly, and wouldn't make for much of a mysterious Zygarde form. That's when I came across Hugin and Munin, the 2 ravens that fly around Earth, bringing back information to Odin. This is perfect, because 2 5% Zygardes would equal 1 10% dog. The whole idea is going to be that these 5% Zygardes are drones that monitor the ecosystem and search for the other Zygarde cells. I'm also going to
Okay.
take some slight inspiration from Gulinkambi, the rooster that crows at the beginning of Ragnarok. I'm starting with the silhouette of a crow, but I ended up combining its 2 legs. It's not a real bird after all, so it doesn't need them. It's just a few cells in the shape of a crow, so we gotta try our best to not make it look complicated. I added a few hexagonal cells on the top of the head to look like a chicken's comb, as well as the
Neat.
signature shapes for the rest of its limbs. I combined the legs into 1 talon, because after all, this guy's only duty is to fly. It doesn't run around or anything. This also makes it look like a combo of Zygarde cell and a form. I simplified the wings since there aren't enough cells in this guy to make that many hexagons. I gave it its core, and if you notice, it has a hexagon on its forehead between its 2 eyes, making it look like a 3-eyed raven. Literal Zygarde
Ooh.
color scheme too. What else would you expect? Blue and orange? Here is Zygarde 5%. When 5%
love
of
it.
Zygarde cells manage to join together, they create this form. It journeys across the land, searching far and wide for the remaining cells of Zygarde. It soars at 100 miles per hour, impaling its enemies with its sharp beak. Its speed will double when the ecosystem is in peril. They have the standard Zygarde abilities. I think this is a really believable Zygarde form. I'm surprised it doesn't exist. Maybe I'll make a 75% form in the future as well.
Ooh, I'd love to see that. Hold on. We're back.
Last time I made a very cute baby Cobalion inspired by Keldeo. Now how about we continue this tradition and make one for Terrakion?
Yes.
Once again, my goal is to make this trio more endearing by giving you a Prevo to bond with and eventually love the evolved form. Cobalion is responsible and serious, so I made its Prevo very spirited and optimistic before it learns the cruelty of the real world. I want to give Terrakion some character development as well. Terrakion's brave and merciless, so how about a baby Terrakion that is strong but shy and nervous? A Pokemon that rushes in to save its friends despite being super scared.
Reckless.
True hero. Now, the Swords of Justice are based on the Three Musketeers and ungulates, specifically bovids, like antelopes, and in Terrakion's case, probably a cow, sheep, or buffalo. So it'll take inspiration from baby cows instead of baby antelopes like I did for Cobalion. So I
Okay.
begin with a very reserved calf, but goddamn was this guy challenging, because it was basically the opposite of Terrakion, while I still kept on trying to make it feel like one. Like keeping the thick neck, it'll get smaller and smaller as we go. but I wanted to for sure keep those dainty legs that'll eventually get buff as it evolves. The face was tough considering it currently has no chin. It became much more manageable once I gave it a lower lip. It made it look scared, because it is. The whole point is that it's full of fear, but overcomes it in order to act. It will gain confidence after many successful missions. Instead of the big
Okay.
front-facing horn, I gave it a horn that looks kind of like a lamb's ear. Now it's running, and I made that neck thinner. It'll have patterns that will extrude out upon evolution, and little cow spots that'll become the sediment on Terracion's shoulder.
Aww.
Added Terracion's color, and enlarged the forehead, which instantly made it cuter. And the final version looks slightly less timid, since this dude currently looks like he's in pain. This is Terrakion,
It's
the cave
so
Pokemon.
cute.
Terrakion is timid to a fault. It avoids trouble and often trains alone in its cave. It only shows itself to its closest friends, but when the innocent are in danger, it rushes to the rescue despite fearing for its life. It is easily embarrassed and isn't willing to show others any skill that it has not perfected. The raw power that Terrakion's headbutt contains can crumble boulders 3 times its size. After countless battles, these Pokemon tend to gain enough confidence.
Why is it I could see this running up to someone and then buying like a little lamb? And oh, that would be so cute. Oh my god.
To evolve. In fact, they evolve after using Sacred Sword 20 times. Now, I'm actually not very proud of this design. It still looks a bit awkward, and even worse, I accidentally drew its line art with a larger brush than the other Pokemon today, so it looks even more cartoony. Unfortunately, I couldn't fully decide on its proportions, but it's still a good first draft.
It's adorable.
And finally, let's make
Accept
our
it.
obligatory mythical. My favorite is Deoxys, and a baby one can totally work. As you all know, Deoxys is a mutated space virus based on DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid. Now, what's another type of nucleic acid? RNA. So I'll make a single-strand version of Deoxys. Basically what Deoxys looks like right after mutating from the virus, but not yet maturing into the powerful form we know today. It'll take inspiration from fetuses, and most specifically the cosmic fetus, or star child, from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Classic.
So we're beginning with the shape of a fetus. An evil-looking embryo is always a cool science fiction trope, so I gave it Deoxys' menacing eyes, and its core is inside it like a newly developed heart or nucleus. One tentacle on each side, unlike the double helix of its evolved form. Chat decided it would be best if it had a looped tail. Again, it's floating through space, so it doesn't really need any legs, finishing it off with Giger-inspired spines on the back to make it look more like an alien, and a more
Nice.
saturated version of Deoxys' color scheme. I'm one of those guys that considers Deoxys to be red and blue, not orange, but who am I to judge? Check out RNA, the RNA Pokemon. I've decided that this is actually the middle stage of a 3-stage Deoxys line. Perhaps I'll make a preview of this Pokemon that looks more like the virus that was mutated in the next episode. After the DNA of a space virus underwent a sudden mutation upon exposure to a laser beam, RNA began to take form. It floats through space with great purpose. It seeks the source of its mutation. It wiggles its tentacles to shift direction. Its outer membrane rapidly adapts to its environment. It hardens when nearing danger, becomes lighter when it wishes to travel faster, and becomes sharper when it wants to attack. It does not seem to have any malicious intent, but is driven by pure instinct to survive. It has the ability Levitate. This guy is very...
I can actually see this kind of getting a new ability to, well, through battle, it just randomly changes into the different forms as it's, well, unstable and still mutating and adapting. It could just be called, like, shift or something. Like, maybe it starts battle in a normal form, then randomly could shift to any of the other forms, and it will just do that throughout battle. Of course, the changes wouldn't take up a whole animation, and you probably would just get a pop-up saying, in like a plus to a defense, minus the speed or something, I don't know.
very fun to look at. I love how he's staring at us. It feels alive. Hopefully this video made you feel alive as well. Leave a like if it did, and subscribe to know when the next part comes out. Check out the previous Creating New Pokemon.
And folks, that's what we're going to end today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description, and I'll see all of you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.